For over a year, the media told you who the star was. Angel Reese, plastered on billboards, hyped in every headline, crowned before she ever proved it. But then, reality hit. The All-Star votes came in, and Caitlin Clark didn't just win, she crushed the competition. Meanwhile, the so-called face of the league, she didn't even make the top 10. So how did the most promoted player in women's basketball get completely exposed? We're breaking down the hype, the numbers, and the brutal truth the league doesn't want you to hear. If you're tired of fake narratives and want the raw, unfiltered truth, smash that subscribe button. You're gonna need it. For months, the WNBA world had been fed one name over and over again, Angel Reese. She was the media darling, the cultural phenomenon, the supposed future of the league. Every commercial, every panel, every promo, her face was there. She wasn't just playing basketball, she was branded as a movement. So when the All-Star voting results dropped, everyone assumed she'd be near the top, but she wasn't. Not top 5, not top 10, 13th. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark, a player the media often downplayed or outright ignored, racked up over 516,000 votes, more than triple Reese's total, and she did it while taking hit after hit from defenders and critics alike. This wasn't just a gap in votes, it was a canyon. Reese, the self-proclaimed engine of women's basketball, was outvoted by players with less media push, but far more production. And just days before the votes were released, she tied a career-worst performance. Just 4 points and 4 rebounds in a brutal loss to the Mercury. No blocks, no steals, no assists, and a -16 plus or minus rating. The kind of stat line that doesn't scream superstar. It whispers overrated. So now we ask, was this fall coming all along? Or did fans just finally speak the truth that media didn't dare touch? If you've got a take, hot or cold, drop it in the comments. Did Angel Reese get snubbed or exposed? Either way, it's clear the fans are watching something different than the headlines. Before she ever stepped onto a WNBA court, Angel Reese was already a household name. And that wasn't by accident, it was by design. The media built Angel Reese. From magazine covers to fast food endorsements, from national campaigns to interview circuits, she was everywhere. Forbes called her a face of the WNBA's future. Brands raced to sign her. Reese didn't just play the game, she was marketed as the game. And she embraced every second of it. She declared herself a trailblazer. She said she was changing the way people viewed women's basketball. She claimed celebrities were pulling up to arenas because of her, and to her credit, her confidence was infectious. But there was a problem. All the marketing in the world couldn't mask what was actually happening on the court, because while Reese was on red carpets, her stats were quietly regressing. In a recent game against the Mercury, she tied her career worst performance, logging just 4 rebounds, her trademark stat, and scoring a forgettable 4 points in 33 minutes. That's not dominance, that's disappearing, and fans noticed. The more the league tried to push her as the star, the more obvious the disconnect became. She had the image, the deals, the following, but not the production. So now we have to ask, was Angel Reese ever chosen by the fans, or just handed to them? Let me know in the comments. Did the league force this narrative too hard, or was Angel simply a victim of her own hype? On paper, the battle was supposed to be close. Two rookie sensations, both coming off historic college careers, both hailed as game changers. But once the season started, the numbers told a completely different story. Caitlin Clark stepped into the WNBA and immediately made an impact. She didn't need a warm-up period. She dropped 30-point games, led comebacks, and ran the offense like a seasoned vet. She wasn't just playing well, she was controlling games, drawing double teams, hitting logo threes, and breaking records. Angel Reese, she was hustling, no doubt, rebounding with energy, crashing the glass, but rebounding alone doesn't win games. Especially when you're shooting just 30.9% from the field, the second worst among all qualified players. And when you factor in her 0 assists and 0 steals in multiple games, it gets ugly, fast. Clark, meanwhile, ranks near the top in points, assists, and impact metrics. Her team has struggled, sure, but she hasn't. Reese's stat lines read more like a role player than a franchise cornerstone. She's all effort, no efficiency, and the fans saw it, because while the league marketed Reese like the second coming of Lisa Leslie, Clark was quietly earning her crown, stat by stat, game by game. So here's the real question. Are we watching the league's next superstar in Clark? Or did the media just bet on the wrong rookie? Drop your take below. Who's really living up to the hype and who's just riding the wave? Before we dive in, if you're tired of being told who to cheer for and want the real stories behind the stats, hit that subscribe button. This channel doesn't do fluff, just facts, fire, and the truth the mainstream won't touch. Now, let's talk about what really happened with the All-Star votes. Angel Reese didn't fall through the cracks. She got rejected, and not by the media, not by her team, by the fans. This wasn't a casual oversight. This was a message, a statement that no matter how much hype you pump into the system, fans won't blindly follow. They saw the stats. They saw the blown layups, the awkward finishes, the lack of offensive versatility, and they weren't fooled by social media numbers inflated by bots and followers who don't even watch the games. Caitlin Clark wasn't handed her votes. She earned them through performance, not promotion, through results, not reposts. And that's why fans revolted. They chose players who delivered, not those who were delivered to them by the media. It's a powerful reminder. In the WNBA today, you can't manufacture greatness. You have to earn it night after night, stat after stat. Now I'm curious, did you expect this? Did Angel Reese deserve a top 10 spot, or was her ranking exactly where it should be? Drop your honest take in the comments. Agree, disagree, doesn't matter. Just keep it real, because the fans sure did. The WNBA didn't just promote Angel Reese, they bet on her, and they bet big. She was front and center in ad campaigns. Her college highlights were recycled endlessly on the league's official channels. Every interview, every media hit, every viral clip, all part of the plan to turn her into the face of women's basketball. And for a while, it seemed to work. Reese was everywhere. Even people who didn't watch the WNBA knew her name. She was getting paid, getting praised, and getting pushed hard. But here's the problem with manufactured stardom. If the performance doesn't match the promotion, it all falls apart. You can build a marketing machine around a player, but if she's going 2 for 9 with 0 blocks and 4 rebounds in 30+ minutes, the illusion doesn't last. Just ask the fans. They're not watching commercials, they're watching games. And they didn't see dominance. They saw inconsistency. They saw effort with no elevation. The league gambled on an image instead of a resume. They wanted another icon. Instead, they got exposed. And now, the damage is done. Because when a player is this hyped and doesn't deliver, the backlash isn't quiet, it's loud. The fans didn't just ignore the push, they pushed back. Now I want to hear from you. Did the WNBA jump the gun on Angel Reese? Or is this kind of aggressive marketing just part of the game today? Let me know in the comments. Because this conversation, it's just heating up. While the spotlight was being force-fed to Angel Reese, something way more real was happening beneath the surface. Players like A'ja Wilson, Aaliyah Boston, Napheesa Collier, and Kelsey Plum were quietly dominating, night in and night out. No flashy PR stunts, no social media dramatics, just consistency, leadership, and results. A'ja Wilson is on an MVP tear, averaging 28 points and 11 rebounds per game. She's not just performing, she's imposing her will on every team she faces. Meanwhile, Aaliyah Boston pulled in over 447,000 All-Star votes, proving that fans respect production over promotion. She's a second-year player who doesn't need a catchphrase or a podcast to earn her votes. She lets her efficiency, poise, and presence do the talking. Kelsey Plum, Sabrina Ionescu, and even rookies like Kiki Iriafen are showing that the fans notice everything. It's not about who talks the loudest, it's about who delivers when it counts. And Caitlin Clark, she's become the symbol of merit-based stardom. No handouts, no smoke, just game. The All-Star voting was a referendum on who fans believe in, and they voted for skill, leadership, and performance, not marketing fiction. So let's give credit where it's due, because these are the players holding the league up, not just in posters, but in real numbers. Tell me in the comments, who's the real face of the WNBA right now? Is it Clark, Wilson, Boston, or someone nobody's talking about yet? This league is full of killers. You just have to know where to look. Quick question before we dive in. What's the stat that actually matters to you when judging a player? Points? Efficiency? Impact? Drop your answer in the comments. I'm genuinely curious how you evaluate greatness. Now let's talk numbers, because when it comes to Angel Reese, they paint a picture that marketing can't cover up. Through her first stretch of games, Reese is shooting just 30.9% from the field, the second worst among 64 qualified WNBA players. For a post player, that's not just disappointing, that's alarming. Post players are supposed to score efficiently near the rim, but Reese is missing shots from 3 feet out, shots that should be automatic at her position. She's had multiple games with 0 assists, 0 blocks, and 0 steals. And in a recent outing against the Mercury, she finished with 4 points, 4 rebounds, and a plus-minus of -16, her worst since entering the league. Sure, she's grabbing boards, she leads all rookies in rebounding, and her hustle is undeniable. But when you're doing everything except scoring efficiently, passing, or defending the rim, it's hard to make a case for All-Star status. The WNBA has evolved. It's no longer enough to be a one-dimensional player, especially when the league is full of versatile forwards who can shoot, pass, and defend at a high level. Reese's energy is real, but so is the lack of production. And that's not hate, that's just the reality. So your turn, does hustle outweigh skill in today's game? Should rebounding alone be enough to build a star around? Let me know in the comments. I'll be reading. This wasn't just about Angel Reese. It wasn't even just about Caitlin Clark. This All-Star vote exposed something much bigger, a growing divide between what fans see and what the media tries to sell. For months, we were told who the stars were. We were told who mattered. But when it was finally time for the fans to decide, they flipped the script and the league couldn't ignore it. This wasn't a fluke. This was a wake-up call. You can't slap a brand on a player and expect the audience to blindly follow. You can't manufacture a superstar with camera time and clever PR. At the end of the day, fans vote with their eyes, and what they saw was simple: performance greater than popularity. That's why Clark dominated the voting. That's why players like Boston and Collier surged up the rankings. And that's why Angel Reese, despite all the exposure, found herself sitting at number 13. If the WNBA wants to grow, it has to embrace what's real. Real production, real talent, real connection. This league is at a turning point. The fans just proved they're not passive. They're paying attention, and they're not afraid to challenge the narrative. If you made it this far, you're not just a casual viewer, you're part of the conversation. So let's keep it going. Drop a comment with your take on this year's All-Star voting. Hit like if you think the fans got it right. Subscribe if you're tired of the same media spin and want more unfiltered breakdowns like this one. And if you've got a wild idea for the next video, leave it below. We just might feature it, because this channel, we listen to you, not the script.